Hello, Shemai, Prehawn dda, good afternoon. This is Dan here at Right Nice Places, and you might be able to see behind me that I am in a right nice place indeed. And today on this video I'm going to be showing you some little beautiful places that not a lot of people miss, but little things in Llanberis. A lot of people come to Llanberis and they come here for the Snowdon railway, or they come here to climb Wyddfa. But today, you know, my hi'n lieb iawn heddiw, so it's very wet today, so a mountain is out of the question for me. So I thought I'd do something a little bit more low level, sticking with the history and sort of legends and the industrial past of Wales today. So I'm going to take you to this place that you can see behind me, Dolbadarn Castle. I'll tell you a little bit more about it. We're going to go inside in just a second, and after that I'm going to take you to another little place in Llanberis called Dinorwig Quarry, which is also awesome. So if you come to Llanberis on a wet day and you don't fancy climbing Wyddfa, then hopefully this video will give you some ideas of what to do. So behind me now you can see Dolbadarn Castle, and Dolbadarn Castle is unusual in these parts. I know that sounds crazy because I'm in Wales, but this is a Welsh castle, and it's a great example of a Welsh castle because not many of them exist anymore. And you can just see him behind me there. If I zoom out a little bit, and I'll turn around in a second so you can see it properly. But what this castle does, it was built by Llywelyn the Great in the 13th century, and it was here to protect the pass from Llanberis over Wyddfa. So it's a strategic place, and it was here as sort of a symbol of Welsh power and Welsh independence. The view from here, there's a great big tree in front of me, but behind that tree you should be able to see Llywelyn, and we'll see a little bit more of that in just a second when I get further into the castle. And to my right there you can see Dinorwig Quarry, which at the point was one of the biggest quarries in the world, and we'll talk more about that in a second as well. And the lake you can see in front of me here is Llanberis. So yeah, we've got two stunning lakes, we've got a stunning castle just here, and we've got a quarry to explore. So it should be a really nice day, to be honest. It's a shame the weather isn't, but we're not going to let that put us off. This is why we invest in waterproof clothing, isn't it? So yeah, let's go and have a look inside this castle, shall we? You've been warned. There you go. This is what I love about stuff in Wales. Unlike England, this is a free castle to get into, and you just have to go up these steps here. Totally free. And you can walk up, and you know, if this had been in jolly old England, it'd probably cost me 70 quid to park, 50 quid to get in. And instead, we're just mooching up a 13th century castle. And already, look at this behind me. What a right nice place this is. And already I've gone up, what, maybe 10, 12 steps there? And the view just opens up straight away. Now I can hear some people in the castle, and I know it's not ghosts, but here we go. Let's go in this castle. So here we go, so we can go up these castle steps inside, and look how tight and circular it is. I mean, in terms of defensive works, incredible. And if you don't know why spiral staircases exist in castles, it's because when you're going up a castle, your right arm is always against the wall. And if you was looking down these steps as a defender, your right arm would be free to swing. So the attackers always had a disadvantage coming into a staircase because they couldn't use their right arm, and most people back then fought right-handed. The other thing this castle is not just a symbol of Llywelyn's power, but it was also a prison where he locked his brother Owain Goch for 20 years. So it just shows the Welsh royal family were just as rascally as the English. But yeah, if you're claustrophobic, maybe don't come up here, but you'll be right. And then, hello, when you get to the top, you'll be rewarded with a really nice view. But ultimately the castle did no good, because Edward turned up and built bigger, stronger, better castles than Dolbadarn. And when the English invasion happened, they no longer continued to use it. And in fact, I believe Edward may have stole a lot of timber and brick and materials from this castle to finish the beast that is Carnarvon. But yeah, you can get all the way up to this castle anyway. It's caged off, it's not dangerous, it's a bit windy today, but the views are well worth the little climb. But as I say, if you're claustrophobic, it is a little bit tight coming up that staircase. I'm going to go back down it now because I'm just getting wet, and I'm not going to film going down because it is narrow and it is a bit wet today. So I'll see you at the bottom, and then we're going to make our way across to Dinorwic Quarry. So that was a nice little start to today's video, wasn't it? And Dolbadarn Castle is wicked, totally free. I mean, totally free, how good's that? And to get there, when you come down into Llanberis, you'll always see the Snowdon Railway and the big car park opposite it. That car park's dead expensive. If you drive just past that car park with it on your right hand side and then take an immediate right, you'll drive down towards the quarry works entrance, because there's still a working quarry there. And you'll see a car park on your left for Dolbadarn Castle. Now it's half the price of the Llanberis main car park, and you can be at Dolbadarn Castle before you start your walk. So yeah, 2 minutes out your day, and you'll see that. Whew. There we go. And yeah, so castle was a nice easy word in Welsh as well. It's just castell. It's not very different at all, really. So yeah, nice easy word there for you. And now we're just going over this little river that you can see here, and in just a moment we'll go through this little kissing gate, and then we'll be back into the car park where I've parked today, and I'll show you that car park because I didn't at the beginning of the video. And honestly, if you are coming to do Wyddfa or the steam train up the mountain, then use this car park. I'll show you now. But this car park here, this road there leads directly to the train station, and it'll take you about 3 minutes to walk there. And then you've got this pay and display car park, huge car park. So if it's ever busy there at the railway, come down here, and you'll usually find some more spaces. And what we're going to do now is we're going to come out of the car park, we're going to take a left, and we're going to walk across the dam that goes over Llynperis and Padarn towards the quarries. And again, a real simple walk. I'm just going to put the camera away though, because it is getting so wet today, so wet. I've got the Gore-Tex pants in the bag, not got them on yet, but I have gone for the full Gore-Tex jacket today. And I thought I'd test out this mountain equipment drill light cap that Nowco got me, see how waterproof it really is today. So far my head's dry, but it is cold, but you know, it is now September, isn't it? Anyway, I'll speak to you when I'm on the dam. So if you want to do this walk, you can see Dolbadarn Castle just behind me there. I've simply come out, crossed over this dam, and when you get to the dam, you sort of think, oh, where do I go here? Turn slightly right, and you'll come to the entrance of what looks like the new quarry, the new Welsh slate mining quarry. But you're not going up that. What we're going to do is take this path just next to it on the left here. There's a public footpath sign, and that is going to take us up into the quarry. Now guys, in no way am I promoting lots of different stuff in quarries. Quarry walks are dangerous and can be, but this walk is signposted throughout. You'll see these yellow and red signposts, and as this says, please do stick to the designated footpaths. This is an old quarry. You know, it was last used, I think completely shut down 1969. It is a big, dangerous, cool place, and well worth seeing, and there are footpaths, but please, you know, be careful when you come into a quarry. Oh, look at those arseholes, man. So this is, this winds me up. So this is the original miner's path going up now, and I was just about to spin the camera to show you the steepness and narrowness of this path that blokes had to walk up with to go to work for, you know, God knows how long. But look at what some dickheads done here. Why would you leave an Indian takeaway just there? You know, honestly, if you're one of these people who claims to love the outdoors and wants to come to spots like this to get your Instagram pictures, then leave it as you found it. Don't leave it like that. It's absolutely disgusting. What we'll do is, I don't fancy carrying an Indian around with me on this walk, so on the way back down we'll pick that up and we'll bang it in one of the many bins that are available in Llanberis and all. I just don't get that. Leave no trace, people, you know. Anyway, now I will show you this path. So spin the camera around and you can see this narrow path here. It's not a difficult path. Got to be careful on days like today where it's wet, because it's obviously slate, so slate gets slippy. But imagine, you know, back in the 17th, 18th century, having to walk up here with your butties to come to work for the day. And, you know, these lads weren't paid by the hour. You know, they came here. Look at these steps now, this is wonderful. But yeah, the lads who worked in these quarries weren't paid by the hour like me and you are on a salary. They were paid per usable slate they found. So if you found slate that was deemed not good enough, then you weren't getting paid. Anyway, side of a mountain. But yeah, keep to these things that you can see, these little pillars as you go around the quarry. And I'll video again in just a second, because this bit is just this path going up through the trees, but the view will open up again in a second. Not that you're going to see any mountaintops today. Everything is absolutely clag covered. But at least I'm drying these trees, you know. Anyway, he says, and gets dropped on. Anyway, yeah. Right, I'll speak to you in a sec. So here's the path in front of me again. Now we're almost coming to the view, or opening up to the view, but if you're looking for a walk in Eryri that's interesting, this is the one. But if you do have walking difficulties or are unsteady on your feet, this might not be the one, because it is slippy. It's not a difficult path, there's no technicality, but obviously, as you can see, the reason I'm filming it is to try and give you a real idea of, look at that view, of what the path looks like, because obviously it's the entrance to a slate quarry, you know, so it's not flat and unrooted, and obviously it's hundreds of years old, so you can see the markers and it's a dead obvious path. But just be careful if you are, you know, bad hips, bad knees, anything like that, because going up's easy, innit? Coming down's where you'll have problems. So we're about to hit the viewpoint. It's busy up here today. I've not seen Dinorwic this busy for a while. Just had a big group passing by. I'm just about to pass another person. Thank you. But it's worth videoing this bit, because you'll suddenly get the views of Llanberis and Dolbadarn are just here now. And you should start to see them behind me. And thankfully that rain stopped as well. But yeah, you can see Peris behind me, and now if I flip this camera you can see Dolbadarn as well. And if we have a little look from here, you've got the town of Llanberis. The big lump in front is Llywelyn, which is a hell of a walk as well. And then coming round now, what you can see in the clouds there is Wyddfa itself. And just across the water, where we've just been, should see Dolbadarn Castle, which is cool, isn't it? And we're not even near the top yet. But then this path does continue on, and as you can see, it's steepish, but anybody could do this if you weren't rushing. You know, you could take your time and get it done all day. I think any level of fitness could do it, really. As I say, it's more the unsteadiness on your feet that would bother you. Whew. I'm glad that rain stopped. Well, not stopped, it's still raining, but it was bleeding heavy earlier, really heavy. And this is the worst kind of weather for me. You know, I don't mind overcast, but when it's warm and wet and you've got a Gore-Tex up, but it's like having a little portable sauna wrapped around your body, isn't it? Whew, absolutely boiling I am. Anyway, there you go. So yeah, apologies for no mountain today, and also no Max today. Maxie has gone on his little holidays again to my mum and dad's, because I need to go away for work for a night. Obviously I can't leave him in the house alone. He'd be having a party or something, bringing all the dogs around, because he's like that. Woo, bit of wind here, but now behind me, look at that. How good's that for a view? And again, there's no effort in this walk. That's why I've taken it today, you know. I didn't want to do anything difficult in bad weather, because why would you? I get it, and I do feel sorry for people who visit sometimes, because, you know, if you've booked time off work and you've saved up a bit of cash or whatnot to come and do the mountains, and then the weather's like this, I always feel really sorry for tourists, because you've still got to go out and do it, haven't you? Because you're here. Whereas when you're a lucky bugger like me who lives in Eryri, you can pick the finer days for the hilltops, and then we're spoilt with walks like this. for when the weather's bad. And now, just as we come around this bend, obviously you can really start to see the industrial past now. I mean, this next to me here is just a tip, and that's just disused bits of slate, not deemed good enough, that are just tossed to one side. And as always, those tips do freak me out. But we're going to come to our first part of any sort of quarry building now. So here you go, the first building you see, look at that wheelhouse there, so you can still see the cabling inside. And that would have dragged stuff up this track that you can see just beyond this tree. But I'm going to show you that track in more detail in just a few minutes, because in a couple of minutes we're going to be at one of the most famous shots of Dinorwic Quarry. Quarry on a Cymraeg is chwarel, so quite a cool word. Chwarel is quarry. And this quarry was the quarry that roofed the Houses of Parliament. So all the slate on the Houses of Parliament comes from here, comes from Dinorwic. And it is said that, you know, North Wales at one point roofed the world. Nowadays it's bloody China roofs the world, because we all have knockoff crappier slate because it's cheaper. And don't get me started on all that again. But, you know, but in just a moment we're going to come around a bend and we'll see that famous sort of Instagram shot, if you will, of what's called Anglesey Barracks. And I'll explain it in just a moment. So here we are, you've just seen the shot of it, but here we are now walking through the very, very famous Anglesey Barracks in Dinorwic Quarry. Now these houses are what people lived in, and I'll show you inside one in a minute. These houses were closed down in 1953 by the British government, as they were deemed unfit for human inhabitation by that stage. 1953, that ain't long ago, and people were living in these buildings. You know, people talk about historic slavery and stuff. This weren't much different, were it? 1953, chaps were living in these buildings, 2 or 3 up, with nothing in them. Let's go inside one. Nothing in them but a fireplace, you know, no water, no electricity. And you would be expected to work all day in the quarries, in the mines, and then you would come home to this. And this would be it. This would be your room. Just here, you know, and this would be all of it. There's your little fireplace you can see. You know, I assume an alcove. And I assume this little part here would have been the bedroom, you know, and you would have probably had a couple of beds in here, and that would have been it. And this, you know, Jesus, you know, we say we're tired now, don't we? We come home after an 8-hour shift with an half an hour paid break, sit on the couch, have a hot bath, watch a bit of Netflix, and complain that we're tired. Imagine coming home to this at the end of a night. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, this quarry is. But yeah, so this is Anglesey Barracks. The actual quarry shut down in 1969, but at its height, over 3,000 men worked in Dinorwic Quarry. 3,000. And I'm going to show you some more of the houses in just a second, but these are the famous ones of Anglesey Barracks. The track in front of me now is what we saw at the start next to that wheelhouse. So carts would have been brought right up this track, and actually if I look down, you can now see the old tracks there, and I'm stood right in the middle of them, and they're going right up this hill, and you can see them going all the way up now. But before we explore up that hill and see what we've got, I thought we'd take you just through this little bit here, because there are more incredible quarrymen's houses to give you a glimpse of how these people lived and worked. And yeah, man, you don't have to come to North Wales just to get to the top of mountains. Some of the stuff we have here, I mean, today, you know, I don't think I've walked a mile, maybe 1.5 miles, I don't know. Not far. I've not sweated other than, you know, because of the Gore-Tex. Oh, the wind is windier. And, you know, I've seen a castle, a historic quarry, and now I'm looking at Wyddfa itself with Llanberis in front of me. I'll show you the view as well, because, yeah, look at that. What a view, and just absolutely zero effort. But as always, when you're walking around a quarry, do be careful. You never know where the mine might end and start. And it does have serious Mordor vibes around here. seem to be referencing Tolkien more and more in my walks, but I think it's quite clear that he was inspired by the Welsh landscape, and as such, when we see it now, we think back to his inspirations, you know. But yeah, but just ahead of me as well. I mean, you could spend, I'm not going to spend hours up here today because I've been before, and also it's bloody wet. But look at that opposite, where nature is starting to reclaim them houses. You know, absolutely incredible stuff. And more houses here just on my right. What I haven't shown you quite yet is just the sheer scale of the workings in this quarry, which we're going to have a look at in a minute. And you know, a lot of people come up to Dinorwic if they're serious climbers as well, you know, with ropes and proper stuff like that, because apparently slate's great fun to climb on. I'd rather not, you know. I'd rather have a walk with my brew and just find somewhere pleasant to stop, because, you know, I don't fancy falling really. I'm a big coward, aren't I? But again, these tips, honestly, tips do freak me out. One day they will move. You know, it's not a permanent fixture, surely. And I wouldn't want to be here when it does, because you wouldn't be surviving, would you? Let's be honest. But oh, I'll nip across here. This looks good. Oof, that wind up here today. Saying that, I'd rather have the wind than the rain. And this slate is drying nice and quick today. But here we go. So you'll be able to see the workings of the quarry proper now if I spin this around. Look at the size. Look at the scale of this quarry. What man has done to the mountain. Almost unforgivable really, isn't it? But look at that. Going all the way up. You can see the tracks, or hopefully you can see the tracks going further and further up to more gatehouses, more wheel houses, more cutting rooms, more tool rooms, all these different places in the quarry. And I mean, look at it. It looks like something from some sort of dystopian, you know, sci-fi or fantasy novel, doesn't it? You know, look at that. Just the scale of the mining and the way in which they've quarried, and obviously still quarrying now. That's a working quarry still down there. But you know, when we say it's a working quarry now, lads aren't probably dying in them quarries anymore, are they? They're probably getting paid well for them. Woo! And they're probably getting good wages for it. But yeah, so that's the working quarry. We're going to carry on mooching inside it now and see what else we can discover. So I'm following those minecart tracks now. You still see the old rope on my right hand side, or the cables, and I can certainly see the wheel in front of me that would have pulled these carts up. And hopefully we'll see some other cool stuff as we get further around. So you can see that wheelhouse now, incredible structure that would have dragged minecarts all the way up that hill from the beginning of this walk that we took, which is all the way down there. You know, so incredible. The other thing that I've spotted up here, and I'm going to show you the sign now, you've got to be very careful when you're walking about North Wales, because we do have quite a dangerous bird, and it's called the perigal. So you've got to be very, very careful. Look, the perigal. He'll get you. He eats you. So you've been warned, when you're walking in the quarries, watch out for the perigals. Maybe you can see behind me now, but I'm still following the cart tracks all the way up this hill, tips either side of me. It's fascinating, but terrifying all at the same time. I don't mean I'm scared, but I just mean, you know, the sort of rawness and the sort of industry around you. It's a scary scale, man. And when you look at this in front of me, it's mad, isn't it? Proper mad that this was here and is still here, and that none of it is used anymore. Like, I mean, I'm no expert, I don't know nothing about. It's like, oh, it's opening up a bit behind me now. But like, surely all this stuff could be somehow recycled, reused. I don't know. Seems a terrible waste. And that rain stopped now, so I could do with taking the old Gore-Tex off, because whew, I'm getting the old sweaty top lip. I won't kiss myself at this point in time. Anyway, there you go. But yeah, beautiful. And again, as always, guys, thank you for liking, sharing and subscribing to my channel. It really does mean a lot. Yeah, so diolch yn fawr. Thank you very much for all the subs. It makes me very happy indeed. And the reason it makes me happy is not, I mean, don't get me wrong, you're probably all a bit narcissistic if you want to make videos of yourself, but it's not for that. The reason that I'm so grateful to people for subscribing is, you know, like many, I battle with motivation and sort of, you know, your mental health, where you've got to push yourself to do stuff sometimes. But what I like with doing YouTube videos is, even if no one's watching, in my head they are, and that gives me motivation to keep going on good walks every week, you know, to share with you guys. So thank you for giving me that inspiration and motivation to not only keep myself physically fit, but to keep myself mentally fit as well. And that's really important, isn't it? Whoa, this hill is steeper than I expected it to be. I mean, look at it behind me now. Not steeper than I expected it to be. I could see it from the bottom, but whew, I'm going to blame the Gore-Tex for the sweating and not the fact that I ate a full carrot cake last night. Nice one, Donna. This place is vast, let me tell you. If you're going to come up to Dinorwic, then give yourselves all day, you know. Sadly, I haven't today. I had to sort the dog out this morning. I've got to get home because I've got Nauco coming round later on, but it's important, isn't it? I didn't want to come out in the rain, but I thought, let's get out, let's get a video done. And I'm glad I came here because there's plenty of places to get out the wind, to get out the rain. And I mean, look at it. You probably can't see on the camera, but I can see on the landscape. Plenty of, not loads of people, but there's plenty of people dotted about, going on various areas. This is a pretty much 3D environment in terms of what you want to see and what you want to do, you know. And you'll see, if you Instagram it, Google Dinorwic, you'll see a gazillion wonderful pictures of really cool shit to see. All I would say is please, please, please be careful. I see this one, there's some old rail tracks that are hanging over the edge, and it's this fashionable thing for people to dangle off the edge of it, and it's like, dude, why risk it for a few likes and shares? Do you know what I mean? Yes, it's good to instill a bit of fear into your heart every day and push yourself, but don't die for an Instagram picture. That's just bloody daft, isn't it? Anyway, what I want to do now, this wind has really picked up. So wind in Welsh is gwint, but windy is gwyntog. So, you know, my hi'n gwyntog iawn. So it's very windy now, or rwan is now. Unless you're down south and then it's now, and that's just daft. But yeah, so my hi'n gwyntog iawn rwan. Very windy now, guys. So I'm going to try and find somewhere to get out of this wind and have a brew, because the rain's picking up again, the wind's picking up again, my lace has come undone, there's a woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! There's a boost in my bag that needs eating, you know, there's a lot going on. So I need to get sat on my arse with a cup of tea and a biscuit or a boost and just enjoy it for a minute and take it all in. So when I found a good brew spot, I'll chat to you again, guys. But yeah, Dinorwic, suitable for anybody really, you know, that doesn't have difficulty walking, but great fun. Anyway, we'll catch up over a brew. Oh, so I thought I'd stop in this right nice place for a brew today, just because look at the views. I'm right next to an old wheelhouse. I've got, I don't know if you can quite see it on the camera, but I've got Llanberis just below me, and the big lump you can see in the distance is Wyddfa, but that's actually Crib Goch that you can see just over there. But yeah, I thought, what a perfect place to stop and just take it all in, you know, because I'm heading back, as you know now. It's been a lovely walk, and you know, for me, this walk, it's just perfect for anybody who wants to see something cool, different, a little bit historical, and especially if you include Dolbadarn Castle as well. I mean, where else can you see a castle and climb to the top of it, get views like that and not have to pay a bean for it? Do you know what I mean? You're so lucky in North Wales, so lucky, in the sense that we have this wonderful playground and it's free. You know, by the time you've bought your gear to come out, and you don't have to spend big, do you? You get to Sports Direct, buy some Carrymore boots and a waterproof, you know, and it'll last you for a couple of times. You can come out and you can explore this. Nothing, is it? Do you know what I mean? Bring a brew with you. I brought the jet boil again today, but I had a huge Huge bit of brekkie this morning before I left. I got a bit carried away, didn't I? I had a load of eggs that I needed to use up, so I was like, balls to it, I'll have scrambled eggs on toast. Let me tell you, 7 eggs is too many eggs for Dan. So Max got a right good feed as well this morning before he went off to my mum's. So no doubt doing some eggy farts all the way back in my dad's car from. So I hope they enjoy that. But yeah, come here guys, because I'm going to sit here now. Oh, and let me tell you, I'm going to enjoy this brew. Cheers, Yorkshire tea. So look at this now. We've come to one of the old quarry pools where they flooded the old quarries and stuff. When you see water that colour, guys, don't swim in it. Anyway, opposite side there, you might be able to see the caves and the blast holes that have been made in to the side of this mountain, so the tunnellers, or the miners and quarriers, could go through the tunnel. You might just be able to see the people on the other side there walking along that slate path. But you can actually go through that tunnel there. And again, you know, if you want to do that, then you do it. But you won't be seeing me doing it on this video, because I know 1 million people walk through it a day. I don't care. 1 million people have bungee jumped, but I won't be doing that either. You know your limits. I know that if I walk through a dark ass tunnel, even if it's 2 meters, I will cacia traws, as we say in Welsh. And normally I'd put the translation up on the screen there for cacia traws, but I'm hoping you could probably understand it. And I don't want to be caciing the traws on YouTube or anywhere, quite frankly. So I won't be walking through that tunnel at all today. But you can really see where this quarry's opened up around me now, and I'll show you these steps that I'm currently going up. It is just a playground, a full 3D environment. You know, stick to paths, stick to tracks, don't just wander up slate piles, because you're going to not have a good time. But if you like abandoned buildings, if you like, you know, the sort of social and industrial past and history of Britain or North Wales, then this place is for you. If you like climbing with ropes up slate, then this place is for you. Or if you've turned up in North Wales to climb Wyddfa and the weather's dog shite, then this walk's for you. So something for everybody. And what I'm going to do in a minute is, I've come high enough up the mountain for today. The weather's getting bad. I'll be starting to make, whoa, that wind's getting really strong. So I'm going to start making my way down very shortly, probably pick a different route than what I took. And just behind me now, with that wind picking up, slate is already flying off that tip just behind me. So, you know, this is a moving mountain. Hopefully you know now what I mean about them sort of Mordor vibes, you know. Real dark, oof, that wind. Real dark, real foreboding place. But well worth coming, exploring. 110%. Anyway, I'll talk to you a little bit further down. I wonder what that noise was. There's some massive goats over there. You know, the devil goats with the big horns. Anyway, I'll chat to you a little bit just as we get further down the hill. Whoa, so I'm going down a different route, dear me, than what I came up. And that wind, woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! It's as strong as Mark Henry, that. Unbelievable. Anyway, it's pretty windy on the tops, but I'm glad I've come back a different walk, because what I've got on my side here is just wicked views of sort of all the Moyle Winds and Wyddfa, not the Moyle Winds, sorry, Moyle Elliot and stuff like that. And then to this side of me, you've got these incredible cliffs and slate rock faces, and where you can really see, whoof, God, that wind, you can really see just how much and for how long was dug here. And behind me you can see the path we're walking through is straight through what would have been the side of the mountain. It's unbelievable, the scale. I think this was the second biggest quarry in the world in its heyday, only being beaten by Penryn Quarry on the other side of the mountain. And you can walk from this side, so I've never done that walk, but I know there is a route. I think you end up out in the middle of Zip World though, because that's where Zip World have their head first 100-mile-an-hour cacia traws zip line down the side of the mountain, you know, and that's in the other quarry, and that was the biggest, and this was the second. But it's unbelievable, isn't it? And what I find even more unbelievable with stuff like this is You know, like we mentioned earlier, 3,000 men worked in this quarry, or just over 3,000 men worked in this quarry. And they men all had families, wives, children. It is nuts strong, this wind. I'm looking forward to getting out of it. And then people don't exist. Llanberis now, it's a sleepy tourist town, you know. It's getting to that time of year where it really starts to die off. And if we didn't have the Snowdon railway there and Wyddfa itself, then you'd see no bugger down here anymore, you know, and there'd probably be very few people live here. Which is frightening, isn't it? That sort of population dispersal. You know, since what, 1969 when it shut? So what's that, 56 years ago? 56 years the population of North Wales has just disappeared. Because there's no industry left here anymore. Look at this though. What an entrance that is, isn't it? Straight between them two cliffs, or what would have been one cliff, and it's just been hacked straight through the centre, and now we're going to walk through it. Mesmerising and mind-blowing. So I'm almost back at Anglesey Barracks now. You can see the wheelhouse behind me that we saw on our way up, and it just sort of dawned on me when I'm walking down, you know, that's an old building, man. It says all over it, danger, you know, blah 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 blah. And I sort of think, well, what if it just collapses, that wheel? This is going to end up like some sort of Indiana Jones run, isn't it? Down to the bottom, and I don't reckon I'm winning. So hopefully you ain't going to hear some John Williams score in a second and me starting to run, you know, as quick as I can. But I'll be back at Anglesey Barracks in just a minute. You just have to watch your feet coming down this walk. Again, it's nothing difficult. It's just that it's a bit loose slate. And the other thing you've got to watch coming down is the metal rail tracks, so you don't trip over them, because I reckon that'd proper it. But I'm back at Anglesey Barracks. I can see it now, so we're going to walk through there. And you know, not a long video today, guys. I wanted to get out even though it was wet. The rain stopped, but that wind has picked up. And as always, I hope you've enjoyed today's video, showing you a little bit of Welsh history, a little bit of its industrial past, and also speaking a little bit of the language. And as always, if you have enjoyed it, then please do like and share, and please do subscribe. You know, it's totally free to subscribe, and when you do, as I said earlier, it gives me that motivation to keep coming out and doing what I love doing. And yeah, let's end this video, shall we, on a real nice view of Anglesey Barracks. And this is the entrance that you take to get in from this side. So I picked that scruffy bugger's rubbish up, look. So thank you for joining me at a right nice place, and if you are going to come and visit a right nice place, then leave it a right nice place. Don't like this Wally and leave a takeaway on a, you know, World Heritage site. It's just mental, isn't it? And what annoys me the most about litterers is the fact that it came in a bag. So why not just carry it in that bag to a bin, of which there are plenty in a car park. Anyway, sorry to end the video on a rant. I just don't like litterers, especially litterers in Eryri. So, as always, thanks very much for joining me in a right nice place, and I hope to see you all again very, very soon indeed. Thanks.